He allegedly put his 4-year-old half-sister inside a container she couldn't escape from and placed it in the woods. Those parents were running down the sidewalk carrying their little children in tears, trying to figure out where their children were. Greenville County deputies are covering Sulphur Springs Road right now where we are. Here's a message actually from deputies. What things look like right now. This is Martin Road. You can see a huge chunk of the road just completely torn away. Kids, you can make a snowball out of this. This is the good kind of snow. I'm from up north, and this is the perfect snow to play in. If you're traveling on I-85 this weekend, you'll still see SCDOT crews working to remove those chutes. The need for lifeguards and staff is even greater than last year. Opening Saturday, it's still looking for more people to keep things afloat. Not only will law enforcement officers have bulletproof vests, now firefighters in Spartanburg County will suit up in these vests because they're often the ones on the front lines of an active shooter situation. And Nigel, that verdict was handed down just minutes ago. It took jurors a little under 4 hours to find Ray Kelly guilty of murder in the death of Sergeant Conley Jumper. Here is a look now after everything is said and done at Martin Road here in Anderson. Washed out right here. Like you said, this is where that water rescue happened this morning. Crews say the call came in around 6:30. That's when crews say a car flew off Martin Road here. It actually flew under this huge pipe right here. Floodwaters rushing it downstream, carrying it several hundred yards that way. Thankfully, crews say that driver did get out of the car. Floodwaters ripped through Anderson County early Thursday morning. This just one of multiple water rescues.
Evidently, he ran off, and the car was entrapped in the water. Of course, it rolled over, and luckily the person that made the call to dispatch said they seen the door open. So we had hope that they had gotten out of the car.
Crews say floodwaters whisked this car several hundred yards off the road. The driver, thankfully, able to escape.
Because the car was completely 180 upside down when it came to rest or stopped.
Around the corner on Fire Tower Road in Williamston.
Seems like this is a more common events the flooding is what we've dealt with the most. So it's pretty bad.
A partial washout and indefinite closure.
We're dealing with 30 roads flooded. We've had 2 permanent closures.
Another, he says, on Massey Road. He adds the bridge on Fire Tower was patched after flooding just a year or 2 ago.
Clearly now there's a bigger problem here that it's happened again, so we will dig a little deeper this time on this bridge.
The flooding even dumping wildlife out onto a neighborhood golf course.
All of this that's flooded today will most likely probably flood again tomorrow.
If you have large amounts of water coming across the roadway, do not approach it. Do not go through it. Your car is not as heavy as you think it is, and it will start floating and drifting.
And now Hogan says Martin Road here is a state road. Fire Tower and Massey are county roads. He says those ones could take several months to repair. Of course, Martin Road, as you can see behind me, washed out, impassable, will also be closed for a little while right now. And like you just heard Hogan say, some of this rain coming down right now could cause similar places to flood here in Anderson County, warning drivers and neighbors to be careful. For now, we are live in Anderson County. Kylie Jones, WYFF News 4. It is just unimaginable. Tonight, that woman is inside Greenville Memorial Hospital fighting for her life. We spoke exclusively to her family. They say it's so horrific they wouldn't wish it on their worst enemy. We do want to warn you, some of the details are disturbing.
This is the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
A vicious attack leaves a woman clinging to life.
The way she looks right now, it's not her.
Kylie Waltman's family says she was walking home Monday morning in Honeypath when she was brutally attacked by 3 dogs.
She had both of her arms amputated. She's got lacerations on her face.
Amy Wynn says a neighbor found her sister in a ditch, still being attacked. She says he went to get a gun and shot into the air to scare the dogs away. Kylie was airlifted to Greenville Memorial Hospital.
Her whole demeanor, everything about her has changed. Whether I know she's woke up, which is good. She's actually woke up. But it's not her.
Kylie's family says she also had to have her colon removed and may need her esophagus removed.
Knowing Kylie, she's not going to want to live. She's not going to want to live like this. She's got too much pride to rely on someone else.
The Abbeville County Sheriff's Office says animal control took the dogs and it's now investigating.
I don't wish it on no one. I don't want it to happen to no one, and I daggum sure don't want to go through it again. I don't want anyone to have to experience what we're going through right now with it.
Praying her sister makes it, Wynn says she'll do whatever she can to see the owner of the dogs held accountable.
But it could have been prevented. If them dogs were locked up, or if them dogs were chained up, or if they were never there to begin with, it would have never happened.
And Kylie's family has started a GoFundMe for her medical expenses. They say she doesn't have medical insurance and has a long road ahead of her. They want to express their gratitude for all of the support they've received so far. They want to especially thank that man who they say helped save Kylie's life. Live in Greenville, Kylie Jones, WYFF News 4. A multi-layer scam unraveled in a Franklin County courtroom. Gabrielle Butler admitted to child cruelty, pretending to be a veteran and a Purple Heart recipient. The district attorney's office says Butler lied about serving in the Air Force in Afghanistan.
She purported that she had been injured in the military to the extent of losing a leg in the military, when in fact, I believe it was determined that she never made it out of basic training.
Police Chief Bruce Carlisle says Butler joined the Livonia VFW and was elected as post commander. For months, prosecutors say she took money from the VFW while using her children as pawns.
All with the belief that this was a veteran of the military that had received a serious injury and was really down on her luck, and now her child had cancer.
Prosecutors say Butler lied about her daughter having terminal cancer, going so far as to shave her head.
None of this would have come to fruition had it not been for the efforts of Officer Jonathan Merck.
Officer Merck and several other veterans were the first to become skeptical of Butler's paperwork.
And there were several inconsistencies, with a lot of her stories and things of that nature and what she was stating.
Merck says they quickly pieced together that none of her information, later determined to be forged, added up.
Every day I look at my hands and I'm reminded of what happened to my buddy, what happened to me.
A former military police officer of 11 years, Merck is a Purple Heart recipient himself.
I got wounded in combat in 2011. That same incident, my buddy that was right next to me got killed.
Reminded of this, Merck holds this case especially close to his heart.
These are his handcuffs. These are his military police issued handcuffs. His name's etched in them right here. You can't see it very well. It's just lightly scratched in there.
It was these handcuffs, he says, that were placed on Butler when she was arrested for fraud.
And I only saw it fitting that someone who claimed to be a Purple Heart recipient and a combat veteran and a security forces officer in the Air Force to be handcuffed with handcuffs that belong to an actual American hero.
In Franklin County, Kylie Jones, WYFF News 4.